after that point, I had a low hold because the Christmas holiday season is like a huge consumer time. So then January came, and it was just like dead. Like, so I went from replacing my revenue like 2 times over to not making anything. This is around the time you saw me up security. So I literally was like, I literally had to do something. Like I said, I forced myself to do it. So it's nothing coming in. I'm just sitting on whatever hoodies I have left. So I went outside.
This is the Lenderblock podcast, brought to you by Lenderblock Corporation, the creators of the Blender platform and the partner platform. This is the Lenderblock podcast.
Get coffee. We'll be here for a while. Yeah. Alright, guys. So once again, this is one of our Lenderblock interview episodes on our podcast. We're very happy to have you all live with us. I know you guys definitely know Koi if you're in from his Instagram and his promotion. If you know us through our promotion, let's all come together here. Lenderblock Corporation is a software development firm in which we focus on creating decentralized applications which allow members to lend and borrow peer-to-peer without needing FICO. Our mission is to provide equitable credit for all individuals, regardless of their financial history, debt-to-equity ratios, etc. Everyone deserves the right to credit. Everyone deserves the right to financial fairness. Our first application through which we do this is the Blender platform. The Blender platform is an app through which lenders and borrowers can connect. As a borrower, you can create your own credit line, choosing your own interest rate and minimum monthly payment. You can choose your credit limit, which is going to be equal to the amount of collateral that you put down for yourself initially. We give out collateral on a cyclical basis every 3 months, so four times a year. Seasonally, we give out collateral as well. This is to protect our lenders on the flip side who view the credit lines that borrowers create and can choose to lend to these credit lines with the intent of receiving interest compounding payments from these borrowers. We provide statistics about every borrower, showing how credible they are, how frequently they make repayments, the value of their repayments, etc. And we have a completely peer-to-peer economy here building with over 2,100 uniquely owned accounts at the current moment, and that is partnered with the Partner platform. The Partner platform is a second app, a sibling to the Blender platform, that was released earlier this year. The Partner platform allows members to create partnerships. A partnership is also known as a susu or a partner system if you are from the Caribbean. Susu or partner, also called tanda, culturales, juntas. It's a very social practice through which people will contribute funds to a pool cyclically and receive rotational turns to withdraw some of that pool. So let's say the 4 of us are here, we have a partnership, and we each say each month we're going to give in $100. I have the first turn to withdraw some of that pool, right? So the first turn they're going to all contribute 100. I'll have 300 to withdraw. The next turn I'll be contributing, unless the next turn is Juwan's turn, and Juwan will have a turn to withdraw 300. And it'll go around, so there's 4 different turns, and we've all actually contributed and withdrawn 400. So that we can go as many cycles as we want. But the purpose of the Partner platform, as opposed to the Blender platform, the Partner platform is a savings platform. It's a group savings platform. Also, a manager can move a turn up earlier for a particular member if they have an unforeseen expense come up. Like, let's say, hey, my turn is scheduled 4 turns from now, but I need a turn in 2 weeks. Is there a way that I can switch with Kyle, who has the turn 2 turns from now? And the manager has the ability to give me that turn if Kyle agrees. So it's a very good system here for communal fund saving. The Blender platform, peer-to-peer lending, FICO-FREE. The Partner platform, group communal fund saving. Right? We also have apparel. See my hoodie we have on here. Got a shirt on. Yep. I have a shirt underneath this too. We got hats over here. Some of this apparel. I think you should be able to see some of it. We got bucket hat Lenderblock bucket hats. You can find these online. Baseball caps as well. This is all our old line. Our new line is actually with our Chief Merchandising Officer, Naomi Royster. And we have a couple orders that have been placed this week, actually, for our online store, which you can access through, for real, www.lenderblock.io/store. Go on there. You'll be redirected to our online store. Very beautiful Shopify store. You'll love the pictures on there. All the people who are part of the company modeling the clothes. It's a very inclusive environment. And then finally, I want to get into one initiative that we have within the Blender platform. It's called the Verified Registry. The Verified Registry is a way for members to get collateral assistance to increase their credit limits with no money down. It's a pro bono type of thing where we're giving out free credit limits. So all you need to do, go on the Blender platform, go into settings, Then click on the top tab, which is Become Blender Verified. There you'll see several different forms which you need to submit and documents you need to submit. So you're going to submit a verified registry form, which is going to have information verifying your identity, your proof of residence, and your recurring source of income. And then you're going to provide documents which verify what you put on that form. That's all guided through on the verified registry portal within the app. And once you complete that, you can then go to your credit line and request free collateral increases at your will. And by the way, our featured guest does have a credit line. That's ALBS. He was one of the first people to create one. Of course, he has his own business as well. And whether that was to support a friend or to help himself, that's kind of half and half. But it's something that everyone can use. So use him as an example and take part.
I feel like that's a good segue into the interview.
Okay.
To mention that, I am a user of the app, and it works. It's like, my friend is a bank. And, that's one of the many principles that I stand on is, building within your community with the people that are around you, on a daily basis. That way you build something, strong and firm from the base.
Okay. Allan is a big community leader, and I want to just kind of run through his accolades before we really get into this interview, right? And I didn't want to miss anything here because he has a very big catalog.
He deserves it. He definitely deserves
it. Seriously, our podcast guest is a hyped up, very big guest, an honored guest, an individual who we've been blessed to call a friend for many, many years now. I can personally say that this man has helped me in many ways that he probably doesn't even acknowledge. He's an artistic creator. He is a serial businessman. He is a culinary genius as well. Check out his breakfast sandwiches. They are literally, like Kyle shaking his head because Kyle knows. Like,
food is crazy.
Some of the stuff this guy puts together, I would never even thought to put together. And
I don't know how you be coming up with this stuff,
It tastes so good, bro.
Hey, Kyle was right there with you.
Yeah, really. Like,
I was just learning.
Bro,
How?
I'm telling you, that breakfast sandwich is the best breakfast sandwich in the city. And I don't even like breakfast sandwiches. And I'm telling you, no, for real. Like, for me to eat a sandwich with eggs on it, and like, it's just not. If you know me, it's like not something I typically eat, and it bangs. It's so good.
Fucking banger.
So, culinary genius. He's a musical creator. Been making music for at least 5 years now. Inspired me as well to start creating my own thing. I tried making music too. I'm telling you, this guy is very inspirational for everyone that knows him. Public speaker, public performer, videographer, Division I athlete, father, friend, business partner, and hero of the kids in the local communities. He's a polymath driven by the principle of being good, and one of the most confidently talented and contagiously driven individuals that I've known. His name is Allan Koikoi, and we introduce him to the Lenderblock podcast.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Feels good to hear that.
I can't even say everything as well as I need to, man. It's like it's just understated. Let's start with where we know you, right? St. Paul's, our younger years, we were kids, middle school.
What a time.
Yeah.
What a time.
No, us fun
Goodness,
memories.
bro.
How did you?
Too many memories.
How did you find yourself at St. Paul's? 'Cause you didn't go there since like.
Yeah, no. So I'm from Randallstown, so I went to Deer Park Elementary, and I have two siblings. I have an older brother and a younger sister. So my older brother kind of like leads our household in a sense. And when he got to the 5th grade, my parents just decided that they wanted to move us, to private school because they saw the talent. They basically believed in us to be able to do it. And, with not necessarily having the resources, but just, jumping out on a limb.
Right.
So when my brother graduated elementary school, he got, went through the process, got straight into St. Paul's. He was a good, quiet kid, smart, had good grades. So, it was a no-brainer. Now, me, on the other hand, I was a very troubled young man.
180.
Yeah, I don't really know, what exactly it was. I think it was definitely I was bored. I don't really like institutions at all, like anything, no matter what it is. I kind of find myself always trying to break outside the box. So, I had a very extensive record in elementary school. So, trying to get into St.
What were some of these things? What were some of these?
Menace.
I mean, just like not I guess I wasn't a menace. Like I said, I was just bored.
Straight havoc in the
and I
elementary
just,
school.
I wasn't challenged. So it was like the second I was finishing my multiplication test. Like in a couple seconds,
He was
and
bored.
Like, I just started messing with everybody else. Like, still going, like, So like I was getting kicked out of class every day. Like always in the hallway, always in the principal's office. Like I used to tell my teachers just the most outlandish stories sometimes, like, just for no reason. Like so just I don't know, just little stuff like that. So it wasn't like I was just like fighting every day or stuff like that. Like that was just a every once in a while thing. I was just more so just bored. So I was just like, like now the world is like my canvas. So I was doing that way back since I was in elementary school, like literally painting the walls.
That's crazy. So your family, where's your family from?
My family's from West Africa, Liberia. Both my parents were born. Well, my mother was born in Monrovia. My father was born in Magebe County. For anybody who knows West African geography, excuse me. But so they both were born there. My mother left when she was like 9. So she came over here, lived in New York, upstate New York with her father. Then moved to Baltimore and met my father. My father left the day the Civil War started back in the late 70s, early 80s. I don't remember the exact date. When the Civil War started, bombs were going off, gunfire, stuff like that. And my father's family literally fled
This is
the
Liberia.
country. Yes, fled Liberia. Muammar Gaddafi sent a boat to Liberia to take in refugees, and they rode, around to, the northern rim of North Africa, and then flew over to New York. He came down to Baltimore, met my mother.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
What a love story.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's interesting that Muammar Gaddafi is the one who actually, that's a former dictator of Libya.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Definitely, mention his name for an important reason. But yeah, that was something that he did for literally for my family, for my bloodline.
That's very special. Yeah. So there's a strong focus on education in your family. I must imagine your parents coming over, they're saying, look,
no fuck no.
Yes. They're basically saying, like, we sacrificed so much for you to even be here. I can imagine why they sent you to St. Paul's.
Of course, yeah.
How'd you get involved in sports? So, like,
that was from a young age because my mother wanted, like, my father, he worked a lot, so my mother basically took on, the brood of raising us. And she noticed from the jump, like I was saying, like, it wasn't like I was a different person at school and home. I'm the same person everywhere, So I'm at home running around and doing anything and everything. So she was like, I need to put y'all into something constructive. So since I was 7, that was the first year she put me in football. My brother, he was a little bit older than me, but so we both.
So you both started the same year?
Yeah, they started the same year, but he was older, So we both started at the same time, and since I was 7, we been playing.
What was your first football team?
Randallstown Panthers.
Shout out Randallstown Panthers.
Shout out Randallstown Panthers. We definitely got an extensive list of people who went through that program who are still playing pro to this day. Reggie White, Mike Jones.
What team does Reggie play for again?
He played for the Giants. I think he's somewhere else right now.
I think in Canada.
Yeah, I believe he is in Canada. But that's just to name 2 people off the top. There's plenty of others. So, I came up through a good program.
Right. Yeah, that's really crazy. Why didn't you play soccer?
I did play soccer when I was younger. Like when I was 4. Actually, I'm sorry. Soccer was the first thing. Excuse me. Soccer was the first thing. I was like 4 playing soccer, but I used to be, doing other stuff like kicking dandelions. And I remember one time my family from up the street came to see me play. I literally ran off the field. They're like, "Hey, what's up?" And then went back on, started playing the game. So yeah, my parents, I guess they was just like, all right, soccer's not it. Like, you need something more focused.
Did you feel like you were struggling coming up, like as an immigrant family, like money-wise, financially?
Oh yeah.
How was the situation?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, we definitely had a lot of hard times. Like, especially going to St. Paul's. That was when like everything started going.
It's taking out, siphoning so much of the family's income.
Like,
I got a question, bro. Is it? Did you really notice it as a kid though? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's like it be little stuff. Like I remember we didn't have heat like one night. You know what I mean? Like Christmas always felt funny because it was like you could just tell like they scraping it together last minute. They made it happen though. My parents definitely made it. I was from that type of household. Like we don't have it, but they gonna get it done. They gonna make it happen. So definitely. But and being West African too, like it's a different upbringing. Like
You're not so focused on
exactly. You're not focused on that.
toys.
Christmas was, it was religious mostly, but it was about family. It was about the meaning of the season. That's how I get my philanthropy and stuff like that. Like my parents, we don't have much, but they still used to give a lot. So yeah, so that was kind of how the atmosphere was.
What things did your parents kind of want you to? What lessons did they teach you? What are some of the lessons that they taught you that you think kind of stuck with you most, that they wanted you to have from a young age?
I would say working hard and integrity.
Working hard.
That's the main two. So integrity in the sense of I had two very strong-willed parents. Like if you believe or know any, about astrology, my father's a Gemini and my mother's an Aries. That's 2 fire signs. So like, they were very, everything was very like hard, stern, concrete, like don't bend, don't fold mentality. So that was built. Integrity was always built in me. Like even you can go back to St. Paul's. Like my brother was called, the N word a couple of times, and the way that they carried the situation and he carried the situation, that helped me be able to tackle certain situations like that, later in life. Like to really stand firm in who you are and what you believe in, and not actually, but metaphorically die for a cause. And and then so integrity and working hard. My parents had 5 jobs each one time. Like my father 3, my mother 2. Like, and my father kind of gave me that jack of different trades, king of different trades mentality, because he was a photographer, he was an engineer, he was a manager of a parts distribution plant. He works in technical building and fixing computers. Like he
definitely the streams coming out.
Yeah, he did a whole bunch of different things. So that was where I got that from. So working hard and integrity. They taught me how to really work. Like how to just dig in and get what you want.
Yeah. No, for real. It's kind of evident because I remember we were in, what is that, freshman year. You had your sock business. You were taking.
That was middle school.
Middle school?
Yeah, that was middle school when I was doing elite socks.
Oh, he was tied down, right?
Nike Elite.
I remember that.
Nike Elite socks, crazy colors. He dye them and bring them into school. And all the kids.
I ain't gonna lie.
He buying them up, bro. Like $40 socks.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You've been on entrepreneurship for a minute, bro. I
One of the first. And then when we got into high school, I remember the phone posits.
Oh, yeah.
All those.
The shoes. That's one.
Yeah,
shoes.
questionably legitimate.
Oh yeah, I would tell that story straight how it is. Like that was how I became a shoe hustler or a shoe head. I started with fake shoes. I got like a bulk order of some fake shoes from China. It was like $150.
Guys, this is news to me.
I
had no idea.
But nah, cause I got
you sold me a pair of shoes.
I bought them in bulk. It was like 200. Something like that. I had to go make a money order. Like, I had to make my parents do it for me and stuff. I was like, nah, do this. Like, it's going to work. They was like, what are you buying fake shoes? I'm like, it's going to work. Like, please listen to me. So they sent them off. I came back. I got like some fake Dokes, fake Jordans, fake a whole bunch of stuff. And I just started flipping them. Like, some of them you knew they was fake. So it was like I had to sell them for fakes, like, $50, $60. But, like, the 11s and some Congos, they went for like $250, like you feel me? And that was when I was like, all right, now I got rid of all of them. I started my real shoe collection. My first pair was the real Concord, so I went from some fake Concords to the real ones. And like I just stayed down. Like that was, I stayed down for like a year. I was like, I got the fake ones. Like it's whatever. I'm gonna get through it. And I ended up selling them all off. Got to the real ones, started building my collection that way. So yeah, I've been doing entrepreneurship for a long time. The first thing was shoveling snow. That was my first ever hustle.
Really?
Yeah. How old were you when you did that? When you first started doing that?
I was 8, 7. Like that was elementary school. Snow days. That's what we would do. We all get together. Like, cause I grew up. Like my neighborhood was really strong too. Like we was connected. That was back then. We used to actually go outside.
You lived in the same neighborhood, same cul-de-sac?
Yeah, I lived in the same place pretty much my whole life. Like so.
I think I shoveled snow once. I think I did like 2 houses instead. I'm
going
it's too cool.
Yeah, we was out all day. Like we had people would make us hot cocoa and stuff. Like somebody's mother would make hot cocoa for us because they knew what we was doing. Like we would just tackle blocks. Like, all right, we're gonna go on this block, we're gonna go on that, and then we racing each other to get
Get
done
done.
fast and
Yeah.
get to the next house.
It's very cool, bro. Not every neighborhood's like that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Really had a sense of community.
Someone had to lead it, and you had to be a part of it. You could have stayed in the house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can always stay in the house. You can always stay in the house. That's always an option.
Yeah, no cap. I want to get back into the sports though, bro, because although you have so much more to you than sports were just such a driving force in like development through adolescence and even being a young man. I'm still gonna also talk about the fact that you should have played more soccer. You had George Weah, 1995 Ballon d'Or winner.
It's not too late, bro. It's never too late.
I'm joking though. Like, I know you also, bro, football's a big thing. You play D1 football and all that, but as a kid, you used to skateboard like crazy, right?
Yeah.
How'd you get into skateboarding?
It's funny. Y'all remember MTV Scarred?
I knew you were an MTV kid.
Yeah.
I had a question.
Oh my God.
MTV Scarred was like, people would go on there and show their craziest skateboard injuries. So like breaking arms, breaking legs. You know what I'm talking about, right?
100%.
Okay, yeah.
That was the craziest show out there, bro.
Craziest thing ever. That's what made me want to skateboard.
That's what
Yeah, MTV Scar made me want to skateboard. I was like, yo.
You remember that show?
I never saw it.
You go on that show, bro.
It was really
They'll
MTV.
skateboard and they'll break their leg or something. They'll show everything. You know what I'm saying?
Bones and all that. Oh,
Fuck.
Yeah.
Shit over your
like
head.
Mortal Kombat.
How old were you?
Switch back and
How
forth.
old were you when you first started watching it?
That was like around 9 or 10 years old. That was when I started getting into skateboarding. 9, 10 years old.
Like 5th grade.
Yeah.
So this looks
Yeah,
cool.
5th grade when I was still at Decentralized.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I went to St. Paul and I was
Started.
skating. Nah, that was already on that.
Because you came to St. Paul's and you met kids who also skate, like
Exactly.
Michael James.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Michael James was still a good friend of mine.
right.
To this day, I was just talking to Michael the other day.
And you did tournaments. I remember you did some tournaments, right? Ocean City and stuff like that.
Yeah, everything that I do, it's a passion. Like that's what I really tell. Because I hate the word. People are like, you a jack of all trades, and it's like, yeah, but that's like kind of demeaning to what I really do.
How
like,
long you've been interested?
Exactly. How long I've been doing everything. Like I have many passion projects. That's what I call them. I have a whole bunch of passion projects. Skateboarding was one of them. I started when I was 9 years old. I was doing it competitively. I was making videos, editing them, dropping them on YouTube. Like that was another basis of my video editing skills back when I was 9, 10 years old. So everything I've been doing has been well drawn out, thought out. So it's like now it's only right that it started actually coming to fruition.
Right. Let me ask you something. Can you pop a kickflip on the first try?
Sometimes,
Yeah.
Like
I just gotta ask you if you solid. I gotta get the fans.
Yeah, I can definitely do a kickflip first tee. That's
Okay.
no big.
And you want to get into that later, but you're also kind of helping the kids out in the local Baltimore skate park down at the Harbor, also, right? So you connected with them as well through skating.
Yeah, one of my, I won't call him a worker because he's really like a mentor. But Lil Zion, he used to live right around the corner from the skate park. So like all summer long, he was always coming out. We would skate together, do videos. He would help me at the table. And eventually he started taking over. Like he really stepped into, like I was really proud of him. He stepped into the role. Yeah, shout out Lil Zion.
That's the one I was helping out at one of the boards.
He was pretty much at all of them. But he just started taking over. Like I'd be taking the order and then I turn around and he got everything out that I'm supposed to have already like lined up.
On it, man.
On it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So back to the MTV thing. How was it that inspired you? Because I know like MTV kind
Lost
of.
me on that one.
Here's the thing, like with
That made me not want to skate.
They're crazy, bro. You probably said I could do that and not break my leg that bad. Yeah.
Who your favorite skater?
Favorite skater.
Probably don't even have.
Oh no, I do. I definitely do.
I got a favorite.
Only
I
like
ain't
one.
gonna lie, it's Chaz Ortiz just because of his style.
Chaz Ortiz.
Yeah.
I like what's your name? Nigel Houston.
Oh yeah,
That's
nah,
the only one. It's the only one people know,
But
right?
Bro, he
he's a
was young.
monster.
He was young doing that shit, bro. On the games and all that, bro. The long dreads. I said, yo, look cool as shit.
He's a monster. Wait, hold on. This is actually
I know Nigel
business, bro. So I gotta tell him about that.
I feel like everybody skated too, just like everybody plays soccer.
I'm sure I'm skating for sure.
Nigel definitely is a monster. He just dropped a part. Like,
He did?
He just dropped a new part, and he's gonna drop another one. Like for that little.
Or people don't like him too much because he's so like commercialized.
Nah, that's a joke.
It's a joke.
Yeah,
People like him?
That's a joke.
It's a joke.
It's like a LeBron hater.
Oh yeah.
Like,
What do you really hate?
Like, how do you hate Nigel Houston?
Exactly.
What is he
How do you hate him? How do you hate LeBron? How do you hate?
Right. What's up?
Like Tom Brady, you feel me? Like,
Yeah, what do you hate?
he's trying to hate.
I hate Tom Brady.
It's a little different.
I love Nigel Houston.
Alright, so being an MTV kid, MTV always reminds me of just like kind of independent young people doing whatever they see fit, not caring about the things that they don't find important,
For sure.
and just not really paying too much attention to what they deem to be unnecessary infrastructure.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I remember you to be as a like.
So that was an MTV kid.
Yeah, no, look right here. Were you an MTV kid? Like, because it's
that's
like
a great question.
It's very
I definitely was an MTV kid. I loved MTV, and it was like, it was more so just like natural gravitation. Like they got music on there, skateboarding, drama. Because I also am a videographer. I like film, and that's the type of film that I like. It's more so like drama, telling a real story. Like I want to challenge myself and get into comedy and figure out how to work that realm. But like my style is like drama and stuff like that, and that was what was on MTV. So. No, I definitely was at MTV. Like, looking back, it's crazy to say because I hate reality TV. Like, I really despise reality TV.
I hate reality TV.
But it's like, it was more so the art. I saw the art and, what I really was watching. So.
They also gave you some of the boldness to put your own stuff out there. Being a kid putting your own videos on YouTube back then, like pre-2013, is wild.
I was always a performer. I always was putting myself out there. Like, I'm blessed to have that trait. That's really hard. A lot of people have to really work to get to that point. But I always just had it in me.
So you're I call you a polymath, right? Because it's just a very deep dive into multiple skills which aren't inherently related, but you are doing them all as though it's just with a high level of efficiency.
Of course.
The thing I want to ask is back to football. When did you kind of start narrowing out some of your, I guess I want to call them extracurriculars,
of course,
and focusing on football? Because I remember a time, and we went into freshman year here, and we used to, y'all can vouch, y'all all can vouch. This man used to be a workout Megatron machine.
Yeah.
Like,
no bullshit, he was definitely me.
Literally,
always.
I started lifting.
That's what I mean. Kyle, can both say, like, literally was being. We started lifting primarily because this guy started getting so big that his shoulders started getting stretch marks. And then
that's one thing I say I admire, bro. Your discipline was crazy.
Discipline was crazy.
Anything you put your mind to, bro, you definitely was like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
That was crazy, bro.
I remember just used to be benching, and once we started like 135, 245s on each side. Next thing you know, 45 and a 25. Next thing you know, I see yo pushing up 225, 245s on each side, and we're 16. And we're 16 pushing them up 3-4 reps. And it's just like seeing a guy like that. You're all young, man. We're all filled with energy here. And it's like that inspired us all to work very hard to just be the best versions of ourselves. So I want to say, where did that inner drive to just like every single day, whether it was a snow day, you put out your ladders at the park, and I mean, it's just like, how did you have that discipline? Where did it come from?
Yeah, so like we was just talking about the passion project. So that passion project of football, the goal was to go to Oregon. Like that was my goal. Freshman year, I was like, I was a huge Oregon fan, so I was like, I want to play for the Oregon Ducks. Like that was the goal. That was the end. Like it was nothing else. Like that was what I was gonna do. So, like, I had to wake up and work out. I had to, like, it wasn't just, you got to be accountable and you got to be realistic when you have goals and when you have dreams. Like, that's what's going to help you push yourself. And me being realistic, I knew where I was at, athletically, physically, because they'll all tell you, like, freshman year, I was like 5'7", 140. Like,
regular skinny.
I wasn't just built, I was just,
lengthy arms and everything. Regular kid. Yeah.
So I really had to transform myself, and that was the drive, that was what I wanted to do was Oregon,
Yeah.
And it's crazy because when you do stuff like that, like even when you fall short, it still feels good. Like I didn't get an Oregon offer, but when it was all said and done, I had 13 choices, free college tuition to go play football at 13 different universities and schools. Yeah. So going from zero at the end of my junior year, my coach telling me I wasn't even going to go Division I.
Teachers tell you that too. We're not gonna name them because they're still good people.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Great. Of course, I still have great relationships with everybody, that I.
In class, I remember in class, a teacher that we still love him, but he said, "You're not good enough to go to."
He told me I wasn't good enough. And I love that, but I love stuff like that because it's like it makes me go harder. Like I never like I'll take it to heart, but I won't take it to heart to the point it's just like I don't like that person anymore. It's just like I owe it to myself to prove them wrong without dwelling too much
Prove
on
your own self.
proving them wrong. But yeah, to prove to myself that I can do it. So yeah, that's all like stuff like that. I love it. Like it makes me go even harder. Like it's it's like music to my ears. Like it would feel weird. Like nowadays it feels weird when people are just like expecting me to do good. Like like
So
now
we've seen-
that I built the rapport. Like somebody like shout out to the Waterfront Partnership. Like they do so much for me to the point I'm like. Are you sure? Like, you sure that you're sure I can do it? But I always follow through, and that's why we have such a great relationship and stuff like that.
Okay. And then getting into some of the schools you want to mention. Like I know you had Cornell, yeah.
I did have Cornell. I had Delaware, Villanova. Yeah, Ivy League. Yeah, Cornell's Ivy League. I had Villanova, West Point, Delaware, Central Connecticut State. Pretty much the whole CAA, so Elon,
Right.
And Miami, Ohio, and then Army were my 2 FBS offers.
Right. And you were playing corner.
Yeah, corner.
So what's the process like with that, bro? Is it like you send out a tape, or is it more like was it more the 7-on-7?
It was more, it was more so
Okay.
7-on-7s and going to camps. Like I literally pulled up the schools and then shut down every one-on-one. Every school. That's what you gotta do. That's the recipe. Go to the school's camp and shut down a one-on-one. Every coach is gonna see you. Like just keep going. I was stealing reps. Like the first time I did it was prayer kind of line. The first one was Princeton. Like Princeton, that was easy. My cousin was playing there at the time. Went up there, shut down a one-on-one. At receiver and corner. Went to Villanova, shut down a one-on-one. Went to the Nike wide receiver with people who already had offers, locked them all up. So it's like raise this kid. So that was more so a recipe. It's like going to camps and just performing like out on the stage in front of everybody. That's why I say like I've always been a performer and put myself out there. Public speaking, all that has been natural to me.
You were the valedictorian of the graduation as well.
Yeah. That was definitely a special.
Yeah, you were the valedictorian.
What's wrong with you, though?
And the thing is that was based primarily on just the love that people had for listening to Allan and his thoughts and his wisdom, and that was a ubiquitously agreed upon decision just to have Allan do that.
Yeah, because it wasn't the grades.
That's what I'm trying to get at without saying it wasn't based on that. It wasn't based on grades, although it could have been. He's still a smart guy. I'm just saying that's based on like an understanding of like who this guy is. That's a
commencement speaker, right?
Yes, bro. Incredible. Kyle, you still cut off by the thing you want to move something? Good?
That's cool. I'm good, man. We can only.
See,
I move too much to be.
Hey, good. You got the book. But show me a cast real quick. Real quick. Show me your boot. See your boot?
God dang.
Yeah, MMA stuff, man. Back to it, though.
Whole damn leg.
Yeah. Yo, the thing is, bro, I want to ask you some more about like how your family. We want to get into some more topics. I just want to rush through some of your inspirations here. How did AJ and Atira inspire you? I remember Atira being your younger sister, AJ being your older brother. I remember you telling me like Atira helping you doing handstand push-ups and stuff, because you stuff like just helping you throughout that whole process of like how did they help you? How did your siblings help you?
Yeah. So I would say that having siblings was like a blessing. It really was a blessing. Like in the moment, it seemed like a curse because you always.
What's the butt?
Yeah, you always.
you
always,
fussing
and then you would, intrude each other's spaces and stuff. Because me and my brother shared a room my whole life. Like it was always me and him in the same room. So we was always butting heads. Like
that's a big guy too.
He really, and he's big. My brother is huge. So my brother is way bigger than me. Like that was another thing with the working out. Like it was like finally I can take him on.
Could you?
Yeah, I mean I could take him on before, just growing up. Always having somebody bigger.
You already coming from Japan.
Just down the part.
Hey, for real. And we definitely gonna clip this and repost this so that he sees this. But
he's little, small.
But yeah, my older brother. That's what I would say. As far as the being more resilient and standing, tall in front of giants. Like that. Probably my brother's like David and Goliath. Like I told you, I was a stick. I was a twig. Like and he was always big and tall, so always having to go against him, really helped me even with playing football, like because I would take on linemen and tight ends who are big, like I would chest them up,
Was you ever on the field together?
Nah, unfortunately.
4 years apart.
4 years apart.
Yes, I mean, if I was good enough my freshman year, I could have, but it just never worked out that way. Yeah, so that's how my brother inspired me. My youngest sister was like kind of my best friend. That was my mother and father used to always say that, like, that's your best friend. There you go, defending your best friend. Like, my sister was mostly, that was like the relationship that we had. Like,
How different
So
years are
sweet.
my sister's 3 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So my brother's 2 years older, and my sister's 3 years younger. So we all like about 2 years apart.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. That's really what's up.
I'm jealous of that because I'm my only child.
Yeah.
So,
No, like I said, I can't say it's always a but to everything, but it really was a blessing because it teaches you how to work with others, how to have people in your space.
Compromise.
You gotta compromise every day. You have to compromise. Whether it's watching TV, whether it's anything, food, like you always gotta compromise and figure out, all right, today I'm gonna strike first though. All right, today I'm gonna sit
You're gonna
sit
compromise
back.
for me today, yeah.
But nah, today I'm gonna sit back. I had my way yesterday.
Right. That's very good. That's very good. All right, let's get into this. So we kind of know what kind of built you up pre-college. So getting into college, now you went to Miami, Ohio. That's the school that you ended up choosing.
Yeah.
Why Ohio?
So that school was just it was like St. Paul's. Like I tell everybody that, even I tell my players today, like, cause some of them either visit there or interested, want to know what it's like. But it's like it's like reminding me of St. Paul's, just out in the Midwest. Like the atmosphere, the campus was beautiful. Like just everything about it. So it was like it felt comfortable, and it was a big school. That was the difference. I wanted to go to a big school. I ain't like small, microscope. People only go to microscope. Like I like to just blend in at times because I can't be so. I tend to fit outside the box more often. So it's like I'd rather just kind of blend in for real, like while I'm trying to do this football and school thing type deal. So it just felt right, and then the schedule too, like the teams that we playing, like we had Wisconsin like 1 or 2 my freshman year, and I know I was gonna play as a freshman there too. So I was like, I wanted those challenges. Nah, we never played. We never even played on the West Coast. The farthest west we went was like Iowa.
Right, yeah.
Ohio sound rural, bro. Like, was it middle of nowhere?
I visited.
Was it lit? Yeah.
It's cool.
Oh yeah, Michael Jackson. I forgot that.
My girlfriends were like really cool.
Yeah.
So then we had like a road trip with his girlfriend's family.
I remember y'all did that.
Yeah, I forgot that happened. Yeah, we did. So you understand like the atmosphere. It was cool.
It's just like St. Paul, just bigger.
Yeah, just bigger.
What was the demographic like, bro?
Like I said, it was like St.
Paul.
Should have
called it. Forgot.
Ben Roethlisberger went there, yeah.
Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger went there. That was like our, highest rated recruit or whatever.
It's the biggest speaker to get there.
Yeah, definitely.
So were you nervous getting into that? You were playing corner. Were you nervous at all? You pretty much had.
Yeah, like that. I ain't gonna lie. That jump from high school to college was crazy because I played at like a lower level high school, and I didn't realize that until I got to college. Like, and I see everybody is nice. Like, it was like a fight every day. You feel like a game. Like, just practice feels like
tough,
a game.
That atmosphere's crazy.
Yeah, like you hurting, like you
really can't get hurt.
Yeah, you left it all out on the field. Like
you get hurt, you out. You know what I mean?
Exactly that too. But like you gotta leave it all out on the field because it's cameras, 3 cameras every day. Boom, boom, boom. Recording you right here, just watching you from all sides. So anything you do, even in drills, like, because they're going to say, like, why was you loafing yesterday in drills? Like, why were you don't even work hard in drills. Like, you didn't even block right here. You like, damn, man, watching me. Like,
I was sneezing.
So that was, like, a huge jump, like, the level of play, and I loved it, because I say everything is a challenge, and I like doing it. So it was hard, but I definitely got through it, and I played as a true freshman, too, like, the whole season. And played against NFL wide receivers who still playing, in the NFL this day. That's why I want to play corner. It's the hardest position on the field. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Like anybody who plays football
can't
argue
imagine
with
how
that.
you track the speed of an Olympic speed sprinter.
Yeah.
Sprinting at you, able to change direction. You have to track not only where they intend to run, but where the ball might be thrown.
Exactly.
And I guess very incredible, bro.
You start back.
I get it. And you start backward. You're starting backwards. You're backpedaling at the speed someone's accelerating forward, sprinting.
Yeah.
When you're in that position, what do you look at, bro? Do you look at like his hips or like
all
his hips?
Hips, and then once you get close to them, eyes, because then they
When they look up,
yeah, you know, on the ball.
Oh!
Yeah. And it's like it's a technician sport. Like, you know, I used to kind of make the illusion to like we like ninjas. So when we train, like we in the dojo, you know, it's like everything, mind, sound, you know, have a sound mind and a sound body, everything on one accord, because you know, it's a lot of talking that goes back and forth between receivers and DBs. So
They say the corner's the worst trash stuff.
Yeah, because it's like you
try
got
to get
you
them
got
to
yeah. I mean, like you can play. Like I mostly used to play the quiet role, but like sometimes a receiver won't start with you.
Yeah,
and it's like you just quiet and he making plays. It's like then you gonna react afterwards. It's like it's too late now. So it's like, you know,
Start with fire. Start with fire.
Exactly. So that's really what it is.
Man.
Yeah, it's all mental. So it's like you really had to lock in and figure out every move.
Preemptively strike, because he might get the first strike on you, but at least you were able to level something prior.
Exactly. And like this, and a play can be made by this much. You know, the game winning, game tying, any play, like, you know, play of the year, like this much you versus a receiver. So you know you gotta really prepare early and often.
What were some of the highs and lows that you experienced while just like you could name challenging moment, whether on the field or off the field? Like, let me just remind you, as you might have forgotten about this. I remember you telling me about, I know you want me to say this, the lineman who stole something from your room.
Oh yeah.
And you had to actually stand up for yourself physically against a guy with probably 150 pounds on, and probably a guy with a couple inches of height as well. So you had to kind of go through these trials and tribulations. Like, what were some of the highs and lows?
So I say, you know, let's start with the lows so we can end on the highs. So as far as some of the lows would be, you know, the fact that I was one of 100 and whatever. So it's like you're just a number, like at the end of the day. Like as much as a coach can make you feel like you're special or, you know, whatever. Like I've seen the best players get hurt and never get looked at. Never even you're not even saying what's up when you walk into the facility. Like, you know, like, so that's some of the lows, just being a number. But like, you know, that's the game, and that's what me and one of my friends, good friend Sam Murray, shout out to Sam Murray, he's doing this thing down in Florida right now, selling solar panels. Me and Sam used to talk about how that's like the, you know, like we are so glad that we went through it. Like we both had really hard times, and we're so glad that that happened because it's molding us into who we are now. Like Sam is literally killing it right now down Florida selling solar panels. Like he just jumped on a whim. He didn't even have no money. He was like, I'm going to up and move to Florida and I'm gonna just make it work. And he's literally making it happen because he went through similar things like me, you know. So I would say it's a low, but all the lows is what's making the highs now. Like, you know, one more low would be just, you know, after playing my worst game, like, you know, and getting benched, like, and getting benched in the middle of the season after your worst game, you know, it's my, and then coming back and still ending the season strong and having a great year, like, that was, you know, a low that ended up being a high. Highs was freshman year, you know, playing as a true freshman against Wisconsin, you know, great programs, great players. We played at Ohio State in the Horseshoe against Justin Fields. We played Notre Dame. I was hurt that year. John Harbaugh's daughter, came to see me play that game. I couldn't even play at Notre Dame. We played Mississippi State in a bowl game on Christmas at the beach. You was there for that.
I was there.
Christmas St. Petersburg. Christmas at the beach for a bowl game. Like crazy. What? Like that was the best sports trip. You know, you've been on a lot of sports trips. That was the best sports trip I've ever been on in my life. Like, you know, so. You know, highs and lows balance each other out.
Food for the guests and all that.
Yeah, everything free. Yeah, because
I just feel like playing a bowl game is OD.
It's crazy. You already eat free during the year.
Bowl game.
Yeah, it's like times two what you already, you know, experiencing. So, you know, that was definitely, it was a lot of highs, a lot of lows, obviously, but that's football though. Like it's literally how the literal game goes, and then that's how the grand scheme of the big game goes.
What'd you study while you were at Miami, Ohio? They couldn't have just had you on that damn field all day. They had to let you study something.
They would if they could.
I know they could, but
they would if they could. But nah, me being who I was, I went in pre-med because I wanted to learn a lot. After 3 years of being pre-med, when I got hurt, it was my year, my injury, you know, that was another low point, you know, just being hurt, you can't play anymore. It's the only reason that you're really in school, like, especially me, like, I don't like school. I wouldn't have went if I didn't play football. So that's the only reason I'm here, you know, I felt really low, but one of my physics teacher, though, she really, you know, helped me, you know, come out of what I was in, you know, a low place. She helped me pass her class, first of all, and then second, she made me a better person because she was really there for me in a low point in my life. So, you know, being hurt just kind of, I'm sorry, what was the question again? I kind of went off on a tangent.
What'd you study?
Oh, yeah, study. Yeah. So I was pre-med for 3 years. After I got hurt, I decided that I wanted to just do kinesiology because that was my co-major, pre-med in kinesiology.
What's kinesiology?
It's the study of human motion. So it was a pre-PT program. So I was studying to be a physical therapist. So, you know, I decided that I don't want a doctor. I'll just be a physical therapist. Did film studies for a couple semesters just because I wanted to learn about film. And, you know, ended up not finishing. I had one class still that I got to do because I wanted to just jump into entrepreneurship. After my senior year, I didn't play. My coaches, just for whatever reason, you know, didn't play me. So, you know, I had a really low point. You know, and then just said, forget it, what I'm about to do next. You know, I was making music. I'm doing all this stuff. I know what I want to do. And, you know, going to school or being a doctor or a physical therapist just isn't it. So, you know, then the pandemic happened. Literally right after I left. So it's like leaving school, one class left, then the pandemic happens, being home, having, you know, some of the worst times in my life, you know, being shot, being arrested, like, you know, just so many low points just got stacked and stacked on top of each other. And then once I started and actually went through the brand, like, you know, that really just blossomed me into a whole other person. It's like I buried myself. And then I, like, you know, the flower just bloomed finally after all that stuff just got stacked and stacked and stacked on each other. Finally came out, figured out what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be, what change I was going to make in the world, you know, what different decisions that I had to make, like removing all negativity from my life. Like, I only am around positivity, positive people, like, you know, good energy. Like, that's all that I want nowadays. So, you know.
It's evident as well. That's always been you. So, how frustrated were you kind of being prohibited from excelling your business to the maximum that it could be excelled while you were a player? NCAA regulations prevented you from actually selling merchandise, putting out music, and earning from it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, he couldn't really run his business while in college, so it kind of seemed like by the time you were your senior year, end of your junior year, you couldn't make money from anything outside of just what the coaches allowed him to bring in from stipends or whatever else.
Yeah.
So it almost seemed like football became more of a hindrance to your true goals by the time you were a senior.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really hard. Like, it's crazy because the year after I left college, that was when they made the rule that you could benefit off your name and likeness, and now you can make money.
Can y'all retroactively take care of my mans? Can y'all give him a check or something to retroactively help him out?
Yeah.
That's actually messed up. Do you feel any remorse for that, or like you feel happy for the new kids coming?
Oh yeah, I definitely feel happy for them. They killing it. Like the new generation of athletes, especially the migration to HBCU schools. Like I love where college athletics is going right now. Like I have a team of athletes actually. You can go on my website and look at their bios and stuff.
Real quick, what is that website? Call me real quick.
AKOIstory.org, AKOIstory.org. I have many tabs: good food, good music, good athletes. Click on my good athletes tab. We have 2 released right now. We got 3 that we haven't revealed yet. But, you know, check them out. Trey Booker and Keziah Kenyi. Trey Booker is a Hocking College JUCO transfer right now. He already has a Division I offer, so, you know, he's going to bounce back real soon. I played with him at Miami, Ohio. Shout out Trey. And Keziah was my assistant, so she helped the brand. She ran my Twitter, my TikTok, everything except Instagram. Because, like, Instagram, that's my main thing. She ran everything else, you know, basically. You know, recycle the content onto there. She left for school now. She's playing at Lincoln up in PA, doing her thing. She plays basketball. She's a hooper. She's tough.
I think I seen her in your apparel.
Yeah, she's really tough. I can't wait. We're going to be at games this winter, and we're going to, you know, do our thing, get the videos out so that y'all can see her. But,
awesome.
Yeah, sorry to sidetrack.
No, I wanted you to plug them in real quick. No, I definitely think there should be a retroactive distribution of some funds. Maybe if there's like a form you can apply for to say, hey, I had a business. It was stifled by the NCAA regulation. Can I get some type of? That should be a thing for sure.
Honestly, yeah, that probably is something I should look into.
No, for real. Hopefully.
It's cool because it just like built me up. Like, you know, I was still releasing music and doing everything. It was just for free. Like, so, you know, I was still getting the reach and things like that. You know, it just built me up. So when it was time to go, it's like we going full speed. Like I can actually benefit off this now.
Facts. Let's get into the music, directing, producing, videography. more the artistic piece of this. This has always been a part of you. I mean, since you put out your first YouTube video,
Sure.
I'd say it's fair to say that you've been producing art.
Yeah.
And that what I admire most about it is the willingness for the world to judge you, or the acceptance of that judgment.
Of course,
That's
yeah.
really the scariest thing for me. Of course, I'm not afraid of that, but as a kid, that was the thing that shocked me most. Like, you put this stuff on YouTube? You put it on YouTube years ago? And he was showing that, yeah. Like, you put this on YouTube when you were 10? Like, you were bold enough to put a YouTube, like, that's, I know kids now think that's very easy, but back then, that was very far-fetched for you to put anything on YouTube.
Yeah, I was one of the pioneers for all the young YouTube stuff.
So,
Soldier Boy.
That
was the first one.
That was the first
No,
one.
Capo, you're probably one of the first 50 black people on YouTube skateboarding.
I think so.
No, like real. No, that's not even an exaggeration. Like maybe top 25, first 25, and it's actually very cool to actually think about that being realistic. But get into the music. Your creative work has been a part of your identity since we were kids. You make your own beats with your music. You have several albums. I'm gonna get through your catalog a little bit, but for your catalog, you first started on SoundCloud, right? And SoundCloud albums, you have maybe 5 albums on SoundCloud. Altogether, adding up all the singles in the albums and the singles released as singles, you probably have like a good 40 to 50 songs on SoundCloud alone.
Yeah.
Very tough, and that's been being published since 2016. Was the earliest track that I saw.
My Good American.
Yeah, My Good Americans. Yeah, I was bumping some of his music last weekend just to reminisce. And it's like, yo, I want to get into it, but I just missed that. Like when he was first learning how to make music, it had this sound of like he loves minor chords. You know, like a major chord is like and then minor chords like but like you kind of notice his demeanor is very chill and mild. But he uses the minor chord, like the almost sad sounding chord, to create like this melodramatic flow. And he also doesn't use typical timing. So like he'll have like delays that make you say wait. Like the beat will go it's like but it's not. It's very odd, but it makes you.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man. Like, but listening back to it made me like really appreciate it a lot more. So you make your own beats, you mix and master your own songs. You also executively produce your own music videos. So the art is very much you. Yeah. And the one thing about being friends with this guy, you're gonna learn to respect his art, because the only way to really get to know this guy is to listen to his music and watch his productions. Yeah. He's not the guy who's gonna sit here telling his feelings all damn day. He's not. But if you listen to the music, that's really the best way to understand who he is, and it's very respectable. So I guess the question I have here is, in college, what types of artistic projects were you embarking in? As your catalog goes back, like kind of go through like the first. I don't know if you even remember album from album chronologically.
Oh yeah, dude.
Can you kind of go through what you were?
Yeah, of course. I mean, first of all, like full circle back to the passion project thing. I've been writing music since I was 7 years old. Like I have a song book still in my room. Any of y'all can come to my house, my parents' house, and go up in my room and go look at this song book. It's an old composition book with tape all over. Like it looks like a relic. You can go through it. You can see dates from like 05, like 04.
It's insane.
03, like
David, you and that?
Yeah, like I used
to
even
be thinking about that.
Yeah, I know.
What?
Like and looking back on it, when I first found it, like, it literally gave me chills. Like I was like, what? Like it's been this long. Like writing music, writing lyrics from other songs, So like, I don't know if y'all remember that Drake and Josh. They had a Drake and Josh special one time, and he made this song called "Makes Me Happy." And I literally had to record the special and go back, play, pause to write down the lyrics. I wrote down all the lyrics to this song. Yes, because I really like the song. Like a lot, when I like music, like it really strikes me, like emotionally.
That's crazy.
Like, so I wrote it down and it's in this book. But so I've been writing, making music since I was like 7 years old. I taught myself piano at 10. Yeah, got guitar lessons like 11, 12. So, I've been doing music and making music for a long time. Now, once I started releasing it in college, then it was a whole nother game. So that process was like, I was listening to a lot of Chance the Rapper and Joey Badass. Like those are the two
Joey
people.
Badass was that guy.
Yeah, Joey Badass was definitely like that back then.
1999.
Those were the two people. 1999 and Acid Rap are the reason why I make music. So
What's the one with Black Beatles on there?
nah, that's Before the Money.
Before
the Money, which was his first studio album. But those two projects made me want to start making music. So I literally, like, he was talking about the stipends. Like, that was how they used to pay us. So, like, we couldn't get paid by all this stuff. So I got, like, $200, and I just put it all in just equipment. Yeah, it wasn't, because we were a mid-major. So it was like, I'm not going to lie, that's a lot for a college student. But
was it a week? A week?
Nah, yeah, I think it was like a week.
Oh, it's not bad.
Like, weekly, or it was like a lump sum, so we got that at the beginning of the month, and then like, maybe $200 every month, and then like they would give us stipends for the weekend to eat. You know, it was good money. Like, for like I said, for a college student, it was definitely good money. Like, we were taking care of it. If you blew your shit, then it's over. That's on you. But so I took all my stipend money, invested in music equipment, started learning how to make beats, record. Like, I did everything from scratch. So my first song, I engineered it, I produced it, I wrote I did everything. So starting that process from the jump really just catapulted me forward to always be independent and never need anybody. Like, I never necessarily need anybody to make music. Now, when it's all said and done, you're making a project, you need a whole team. Like, and now I realize that, you need other ears and, hands on your projects and stuff like that. But, at first it was just me, one man band. And that really, I really did the Kanye beat plan. I call it the Kanye beat plan. He said, I forgot what song it was, but he said, lock yourself in a room doing 5 beats a day for 3 summers.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a different
he did
world,
say
like
that,
these numbers. Yeah, that's a different world, like 3 summers. So for literally 3 summers in college, because I started my first summer in school, so that was technically the second, because, freshman year we come in early. So going into my sophomore year, I started, boom. So sophomore summer, 5 beats a day. Junior summer, 5 beats a day. Senior summer, 5 beats a day. A Koi Story came like shortly afterward.
Here's some of the albums that I was. Koi Story dropped in 2019, by the way. Lord Allan, that's a great album as well. That dropped in 2018. And the thing is, I wanted to get into this, is like, he had another album, but I didn't see the name of it on SoundCloud. But it was like
a compilation. That was my Good American.
Yeah, it's you in the school class photo as a kid.
Oh no, that's is that Epiphany? That's Epiphany.
Yeah. The way it's organized on SoundCloud though, they didn't show the album name.
Yeah. I took most of that stuff down. Like, I left just a couple singles from it. I took a lot of stuff down. Like,
I was looking for I was like, damn, what is this called?
Yeah.
But singles like Live Comfortably, My Good, like, there's a lot of Hustler's Delight. Like, you really gotta check out this man's SoundCloud, bro. A lot of tough songs on there. I always was reminded of like that childish influence. You always seem to hold on to your inner youth, bro. Like, kind of it's a big party. Even now, when you have the whole A Cool Story thing, it's kind of inspired by a Toy Story, isn't it? Like Toy Story. Yeah.
Nostalgia is one of my biggest inspirations. Like, that's one of my favorite feelings to feel is nostalgia. For sure. Like, and I'm pretty sure that's like universal. Yeah. Like, because when people usually have, intimate moments, it's usually when they're talking about, something from their childhood, or when they're reflecting on something that happened in the past. And that's literally nostalgia. Like, no matter how far back you look, because, all time is kind of going on at the same time. No matter how far back you look, it's the past regardless. So that's why nostalgia, I think, is universal, because it's like, I can think of a song I was listening to a week ago and the feeling that it gave me, and it felt good, But that's like the basis of my art, my artistic movement. Like, it's nostalgia. Like I said, that's my favorite feeling to feel.
You never really made music that. I mean, you make real music, bro. But your music always has like this positive aspect to it, where it's like, we talk on this show a couple of times about like what is good music, like ethically good music, and is that such a thing? Is there such a thing as like music that is bad because of the ethical message it sends to the listener in terms of influencing kids and just minds in general? And you made music that touches on real harsh realities of life that we're going to get into very quickly. But you always make good music, and that whole principle of good. It's very like consistent through everything that you're doing. Just let them know real quick. You're on Apple Music as well.
Yep.
How can they find your Apple Music? Your name is Koi, correct?
Yeah, Koi, and then search
Koi.
Koi, and then search I'm Good. So Koi, I'm Good, and my I'm Good will come up. So that'll be the easiest way to get to me.
And I'm good.
Apple Music, SoundCloud, Tidal, we on everything.
Yep.
Amazon.
Tidal, damn. Jay-Z shit on there. Okay. So I'm good. This is what we've been kind of getting to. I have to give all the background. What is I'm good? Am I good? What is I'm good? What is
So I'm Good is the slogan, it's the mission statement for the brand of Koi Story. Koi Story is the brand that's who we are, and our many different entities are based off of good, which, like I said, is our mission statement. That's our company. That's our motto. That's what we do. So. Yeah, I'm Good started with a Koi Story. When I dropped a Koi Story in 2019, then kind of went through that. Literally, I dropped a Koi Story, and then I just tumbled into what I said was that really lowest point in my life that I've been through. So from 2019 to 2021, 2020, yeah, from 2019 to 2021, so those 2 years, I literally went through like a lifetime worth of experiences. Literally,
get into that, man.
A lifetime worth of experiences that nobody could go through. I feel like personally, like people go through a lot of stuff. Like I know a lot of people who have been through a lot of things. Or trust me, I know people who've been through anything that you could think of. But for me to go through what I went through, like rapidly back to back in 2 years, like that really like aged me like 10. Like it literally like it stressed me out and caused me to have to grow up like real fast.
Yeah, physical like changes.
Yes,
I know what you're saying. Yeah, for sure.
Mentally, like bro, the fact that you came out so intact that bro.
Yeah, I know, like for real, like
we don't want to be vague here.
That's a very slippery slope bro.
You did a recent interview where you were kind of explaining I'm good,
right.
And you said you were in a situation, this same situation, where you're just saying I'm keep trying to tell myself I'm good, I'm good. And I like the fact that I'm trying to be facetious here, but I like the fact that you said I'm good,
right.
Not that I'm well. I'm well means I'm feeling well, or I'm well, right?
Because I wasn't.
Right. But it's that I'm good. Goodness means that it's like the opposite of evil. Like, the difference I'm saying here. Yeah. To say that I'm well means, yeah, I feel well, I'm happy, or whatever. That's like a temporary state of being. To be good means...
Yes, that's a permanent
it's a permanent state. I'm good. And I always notice that it's not a grammar flaw. He's actually saying, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I am good.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's literally so powerful. And what was the experience that you went through, bro?
Yeah. Like I was just about to get into it, honestly. So like I said, 2019 was started the tumbling, like of just tumbling. Like I said, I buried myself and then I came out, the dirt. Literally just every single thing that you could think of situation I've been through, dealing with people kind of attacking. I basically, for lack of a better term, I was attacked. I was chilling around my way, like not too far, like a couple blocks from my neighborhood, and someone tried to rob me, and that ended up in me getting shot.
You were in your neighborhood.
Yes, I was in my neighborhood. I wasn't somewhere else, or I wasn't out and about, because I think that kind of got that's the common misconception that people have about me. They're like, you went, because the private school upbringing, the skateboarding, the football, the being on TV, it makes it seem like, oh, you just went way out your way to get into trouble. But it really was like I didn't have to do nothing, and that's like the hardest thing. Really was the hardest thing to get over about it, because it's like so many people are just like, yo, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And it's like, I'm just living my life, and shit just literally is happening. It's just happening to me, and it's not like. Obviously you gotta have accountability at the same time too, because not only was I shot, but I also was arrested, which was, to my own fault, or whatever the case may be. But so not only was all these things happening to me, but I'm also in a sense putting myself in certain situations to be able to be put in those situations.
Be exposed to it.
Exactly. So going through it, it was just like telling myself I'm good is what got me out, because normal things like that, some people don't ever recover from. They literally change their whole mindset. They don't ever come back outside. They don't ever try hard at anything. everything. Like they lash
This is
out.
amazing, bro.
Like they lash out and look for different, but that's all through the upbringing. Like, I was literally built for this, things that my father used to tell me stories about that he went through, how he handled himself in certain situations as well.
Your father used to live in Staten Island with
my father, when he moved here, he lived in the Park Hill Projects, at the height of, the crack epidemic in New York, when that was back when New York was the worst city in America, it was like Baltimore. My father has seen and lived through a lot of things, not only in this country, but in, his home country. So that's something that also got me prepared to live through, those type of situations. But, being in there and telling myself I'm good is what got me out. Like, and that's not like it just happened in that moment. That's been like a life kind of, it's been like my motto my whole life. That's how I move. Like, a lot of people tell me that. They're like, I'm good, huh? That fits you. Like, that kind of fits you. Like, that makes sense. Like, our old coaches, our old basketball coaches, he was like, I'm good. He was like, that fits you. Like, I understand why, you chose that path or that, that motto or whatever. But, yeah, I just made it a lifestyle and I made it a movement. Like, I'm good. Like, that's what we're doing. We're going to be good through whatever we're going through. And it's such a powerful message because it affects so many people. Like, I literally told people my story and they literally cried right in front of my face. Like, in broad daylight, broad daylight, like, telling people what this means and they just breaking down in front of you. Like, that was when I really learned how powerful it was.
I want to be specific for those who are in the chat. Allan, you were shot last year on a day off while you were working at a clinic, right? After you graduated from school, you
it was actually 2 years.
2 years. Yeah. You were working at a clinic that did COVID research, basically receiving samples, right?
Yeah.
Took a day off, making beats. Very Koi-esque thing is to have his laptop in the car. Like he always just have his laptop in the car while working. He's making beats or whatever else. I think it's just, you're just trying to, like, new scenery. Right? I understand.
You look for inspiration in different places. It's not always in the same place. But yeah, I just went out. Yeah, I got the day off. What's up, bro?
Yeah.
What's up, DJ?
Got a special guest.
What's up, man?
Yes, right on time, man.
Fellas,
What's up?
how good was it?
Well,
Finish.
so look. And while you were in the car working on your beats, you're chilling, you're doing your thing. So I'll scoot over a little bit. Well, not too far, so you can still in this. So while you're in the car working on these beats, right? A young kid, maybe 16 or 17, comes up to you and essentially puts a gun in the car and says, "Give me your laptop," correct?
He wanted everything.
Everything. And your life, essentially.
Yeah, and that too, that's something that I've learned, from my father, from big homies, from people around that, like, somebody could rob you and you get them everything and they still take your life. So it's like, especially being in Baltimore, so it's like, the way that, it was just like I said, everything always comes full circle. Like, everything that we talk about has come full circle in this conversation some way. My life, my upbringing, and different lessons and things that I learned is what made me react the way that I reacted in the situation. And what might have saved me, what might have caused more harm, whatever the case may be, because what's done is done. But, that was the...
You feel comfortable getting into details? You did some superhero type stuff. I mean,
we don't gotta get into it.
All right.
We don't gotta go too deep into it.
We're just glad we still have them.
For sure,
honestly, it was really one of the scariest moments that any of us have experienced, just knowing that this happened. Yeah. And he didn't even tell us. Like, he literally, like, just soldiered it solo for, like, a good week or two. And we finally found out, like, bro, this happened,
Can't believe it.
And it's just because he was going through so many things, and it was...
I also had my first child on the way at the time, too.
Right.
So,
right.
It was a lot of different emotions that was going into that moment.
Sure. Crazy. Let's talk about how your family, people around you reacted to that. You're just talking about people blamed you in a sense, almost saying that you were being irresponsible or just not living life properly. And that, how did that make you feel? There was so many people kind of just almost treating you differently as opposed to what they knew you to be. I mean,
of course.
Did you? How many were relationships negatively affected by that?
Oh yeah. Relationships definitely negatively affected, but all the ones that mattered, lasted the test of time. So it's all good. Yeah. Sure. But it's also, it's like accountability too. Like, it's not like you know, I was perfect or I wasn't. I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing. You know, I was 23, 24 or something. Like, you feel me? I was being a 23, 24-year-old at the time. You know, like, but regardless, like I said, all the relationship lasted the test of time that it was supposed to. That was going to change me and change everybody around me anyway. You know, as more things that's going to happen to me in the future is going to change me and change people around me regardless. So it was just like another step, another, you know, level in life. And I appreciated going through it. You know, like that was something that I really had to get over too, was appreciating going through that situation instead of looking back and being like, this is what, like, was going to make or break me. Like, it's like, it's whatever. Like, in 5 years, we're going to laugh about it. Like, you know, like, not actually, but, like, you know, like, we going
I definitely made a couple roasts.
Yeah, like, it's going, yeah, he has.
Now I was like, you got your street cred.
Yeah, and then people, like, if people who really know me, you know, they kind of.
Oh, wait, no, that's Kyle.
They kind of, you know, have different things to say about it as well. But, like I said, you can't dwell on anything. Like, honestly, that was top. I only said that was only top 5 or 3 things that's like negatively that's happened to me. Like, you know, there's a lot of things that happen behind closed doors that don't make it to, you know, everybody's field of knowledge and things like that.
You don't even want to negatively affect the people who
may
not even be in a position to deal with, you know, because some people can have an ethical burden just by wanting to support their friend, and you know, that's what I always interpreted it as. Like, Allan's dealing with the things he is dealing with. He may not be sharing it with everyone, but the biggest thing that we all wanted to do is just like, just be present. Like, it's not even like taking like an actionable response, but just like, just be present and remember that we know this man for real. So there's no reason for us to even like think differently about anything. You know, this is just life. And if I were in that situation, I damn sure would hope that people don't start treating me differently because of one of the worst things that could ever happen to a person. So,
but like I said, it's a part of growing pains. You know, like it's gonna be way more things and way more situations that are gonna happen in my life that are gonna cause me to change and people around me. Like, you know, change is meant to happen. Like, I forgot.
You said that a couple times.
Yeah, I've said it, and then because I've got it from other artists and stuff who I listen to. I think it was Hov who said when I'm supposed to stay the same. You know, like you was a Hov guy. Like, when I'm supposed to stay the same, or you know, like, why wouldn't you change? It's a part of it's a part of nature. Like, everything changes. Like, look outside, leaves fall. You know, things grow, things fall down. Animals, you know, die, and animals are born. Like, you know, like it's a part of life. Like, it's a cycle. You know, things are supposed to go. You're supposed to change. Like, just think about it. Even like we're holding like grudges and stuff like that, because that's something that I've been. Another piece of me that I've been trying to let go is holding different grudges and stuff against people. It's like you holding a grudge against somebody is reliving that moment in time. So let's say you hold a grudge against somebody, something that happened in like when you was 10 or something like that. Like, you are literally reliving life as a 10-year-old every second that you think about whatever that person did to you and, you know, how it affected you and made you feel. So, you know, moving forward and, you know, not letting the past define you is literally something that is going to make you just a better person. It's going to make you feel better. Yeah, I do too, bro. Like, I gotta let that go. Like, I really have been trying to do that recently. Like, it's just built. It's built in me.
Everybody, this is Darius. This is DJ. This is another member of our podcast. I want to make him a host. He doesn't want to be a host. I want to make him a host. All right, now look, DJ is also a Division I football player. Played at Morgan State University. Probably the best defensive player Morgan State University has had in its history. Literally, stats and the news articles, and he was like the face of the program for a couple of years. And now he's doing his own program, high-speed DBs, and you're going back to school, right?
Yeah, I'm in PTA school right now.
Yeah.
So that's why I just literally just.
You did an exam?
Yeah, I took an exam.
Clap that up.
How do you do it?
Damn right.
That's not easy at all.
It's not. And you went like you took like a 6-month hiatus from school, then just got right back into it. Yeah?
That's pretty much.
How did you do on the exam?
I don't know. You know how it be.
Don't ask me.
It's beyond me right now. So.
Okay. I want to get more into I'm Good, because I'm Good has a lot of different facets to it. So we have, of course, the music. That was the album that came out, and then you kept pushing the brand forward.
Yeah.
Now, the apparel brand is also very big. You have a lot of big athletes who you're sponsoring. You have streamers. I see Aiden also wearing the I'm Good.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people. Who are the people who are wearing your clothing? How did you even, like, how were you inspired to make the clothing? And just tell us about the apparel aspect.
Okay, so first, the apparel started as a marketing tactic for the album. So the first 6 months I was doing this, clothes was free. I was giving everything with free clothes, bags, t-shirts, hoodies, whatever. It was free. It was for you to wear them and promote my album. So, that was the start of it. So people started saying I'm good around the clouds. Like, it strikes a chord in you emotionally. So, it affects different people.
Got the hat on, by the way.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's the hat right here.
Nice.
So, fast forward, the album drops. And I'm Good really, like, it didn't make a huge impact. But the impact that it made was, like, really important. And it was, like...
Probably really genuine, too.
Yeah, it was genuine. Like, everybody around here pretty much hit me about it at some point in time. Like, yo, that was tough. Well, that's good. Like, he making music, like, I really enjoyed it. So, after that, it was like, this has to go deeper than just some music or, like, I have to make this into a brand. Like,
use that momentum.
Exactly. So, I was like, I just kept pushing it, made the website first. Started focusing on the quality of the clothes. My first ever product that I sold was fur hoodies. So, that
I have one.
Yeah, he
warm
has
as
one.
hell.
Kyle has one, I'm pretty sure. So, that give you a
Warm.
sense of, the type of quality that we, and the direction that we put into our clothing. Like, it makes sense. Like, so that was pretty much how the clothing started. So that December, I left. I was working in a restaurant. I left the restaurant the beginning of December, end of November. Basically forced myself to do my own thing full time. Forcing myself to do.
Were you prepared to do that? Or you just like jumped in the deep end and said, I'm gonna just...
I mean, I just jumped in the deep end, but that's what I do all the time. Like, I pretty much just go into things head first. Like, I'll figure it out along the way.
That's tough.
So I really forced myself to make up my revenue from, the job that I had. I did that within like the first month, like easy. So it was like after that, it came a little low haul. So the hoodies around the Christmas time last year, literally around this time last year, actually, we coming on a year that I've been doing this business full time. So around this time last year, I started on the hoodies. That, went really well. Like a lot of people liked them. Like I started sending stuff out, Michigan, California, Florida, Georgia, Texas.
That's crazy.
Like literally we touching every part, and it's like small. It's not huge, but it's like we got the reach. Yeah, we're touching like all over the U.S. And even Japan out in the Miles and them out there. Shout out, shout out Miles and his crew. Shout out Miles Davis.
Miles Davis.
Yeah, he'll be here pretty soon next week. So probably link over.
Hey Miles, we welcome you to the podcast.
Yeah,
In the interview, we actually doing some stuff in Ghana as well, so we definitely want to get you on here.
So we got a big reach, and after that point, I had a low hold because the Christmas holiday season is like a huge consumer time. So then January came, and it was just like dead. Like, so I went from replacing my revenue like 2 times over to not making anything. This is around the time you saw me up security. So I literally was like, I literally had to do something. Like I said, I forced myself to do it. So it's nothing coming in. I'm just sitting on whatever hoodies I had left. So I went outside and I went up Security Square Mall at first. I was up there for like 3 weeks. Standing in the cold, it was January, so it was like 20 degrees, 15 degrees.
Standing outside.
Sitting outside.
There was one day I was like, what is his name, Koi up to? So I just hit him up. I was like, oh, Koi, what are you doing? He was like, I'm over by security selling my hoodies. He didn't even post his stuff on social media, so no one really knew that. Yeah. So I drive up there. Bro, it's like 20 degrees outside, on and off, drizzling, windy as a windy. And I was sitting out there with him for like good 20 minutes, right? I'm just out there just trying to show support, just be out there. Yeah. I'm so cold, bro. I physically can't be out there anymore. I could have, but I just didn't. So I remember asking you, I was like, you want me to get you some hot chocolate? I was like, want me to get you some hot chocolate?
And I'm like, nah, I'm just out there thugging. Like,
how many weeks were you doing that? Was it over a month?
Yeah, it was around a month. So like the month of January, I was out security. eventually, I made a good amount too. You know, I was selling hoodies, getting reach. I gained like 200 Instagram followers, like, because every time somebody talked to me, the least thing I'm gonna have to do is follow me.
Right.
Like,
right.
you know, so it was cool, but security kept noticing me. You know, they made it cool at first.
Security at security.
Yeah, the security at security. But then the head of security finally came outside. You know, he got the gun and stuff, so he was like, "Yeah, you got it." He was like, "Yeah, you got it." Or we're gonna get you for trespassing. Because he was the head. Because everybody else, they know, you know, they just mall cops. And they used to call the police, and the police would come through and just leave, like, because you know, I'm discreet. I'm not like out there being loud and messing with anybody. So like, just off the strength, they like would call the police, so they would pull up and they would literally just keep going. Because like, you know, either they didn't see me or they was just like,
pretty hard to raise a problem.
You know, like, yeah, like what I'm about to do? Kick your off. I used to have cookies on my stand shoes. So, you know, it look. I made it look good.
Man, so from outside, it really was a fuel, right? So you were trying to just make money however you could. Yeah. You've been building this for over a year, and I want to get into. So we have to. Did we get into the food already?
We still on the journey.
Yeah,
like, we still at the very beginning.
So we just talked. We just talked about the music. We got into the apparel. We got a little bit into the sponsored athletes as well. But the food thing right now seems to be what's really like growing exponentially. Get into that? How did you even start cooking? Because you grew up eating rice and stew every day. So how did you go from that to rice and stew? How did you go from that to
Well, so yeah, I grew up eating mostly rice because, you know, West African cuisine. But, like, my father cooked like a lot.
That was good food, by the way. I'm just making jokes.
For sure, yeah. My father, he cooked a lot, so I used to see that growing up. You know, seeing my father in the kitchen. So that was never something that was weird to me. You know, my mother too, she cooked a lot. So, you know, it was just like, I was in a family of chefs. Like, everybody makes food. Like, we never went out. Like, you know, when we going to get-togethers and stuff, like, everybody's bringing their dishes. So it was like, you know, cooking and food and cuisine has been in me. Having a large taste palette has been in me for a long time. So after the close, like, pretty much where we still were, right, was January when I left. When I was at security, they kicked me out. The first place I went was the Inner Harbor, to the skate park that we talking about. So I pretty much just set up shop at the skate park like I was at the at security. And the first person who came out to me was Leanna Wetmore from the Waterfront Partnership. Shout out Leanna. That's my homegirl. We talk on like a weekly basis. Like, she just has so much love to give, and she's been one of my biggest supporters. Leanna saw my clothing line, asked me my story, you know, loved everything about it, immediately gave me her card, told me that I could use Rashfield Park to my disposal as I wanted to. Alerted, yes.
Whole new development down to Inner
Harbor. Yeah, brand new. Like, and
that's where you find cool. You go down there, you're gonna find this restaurants, food, everything. You're going.
Yep. So, you know, went down Rashfield, got that like the first day. So I'm like, I just got kicked out of security around my neighborhood. I go down to the Inner Harbor in Federal Hill, and they welcomed me open arms. Like, it was crazy, bro.
Because they were looking for role models, right? They have a lot of kids down there coming every day.
Yes,
you're
they needed
down
somebody.
there.
God bless you. Yeah, they needed somebody. So, you know, I went down there. She alerted the president. The president came the next day, bought some clothes, gave me her card. The police start seeing me around there. They notice me. They know me now as Koi. Like, any officers see me around there, it's what's up, Koi. So, you know, I just built, like, such a rapport with the community, with all the people who come to the park, bring their kids. Like, literally everybody in Federal Hill, like, most of them have seen I'm Good. They have my shirts, like, around that area, like, you know. And there's also a hub for the most of Baltimore. So, like, people from over west, people from over east, people from out the county, like, everybody, even people from Arundel and Westminster, like, they come, find their way around there, have met me, and, you know, got my clothes. So after a while, I was like, everybody has my clothes now. So it's like, it slowed down. I'm like, I was already doing Black Sunday before Koi's story. Black Sunday was I was, you know, just doing plates, making plates here and there. And that was what got me into the restaurant industry and learned about the business. But I was like, all right, it's time to go back to food. So, you know, I started Good Food, started doing my brunch down there. We created Breakfast and Boards, which is basically it's a family event. Joey Jett, who's from Baltimore, he's a professional skateboarder. His mother, Isabel Cumming, she, you know, is a good friend of mine. She basically set it up that we help each other. So Joey does free lessons for the kids at the skate park, and I run my brunch right next to him. And it's a great event. It helped me be able to expand my business to doing breakfast sandwiches every week that Michael mentioned.
They're
You
so
know,
good.
they're literally the best in Baltimore. You know,
So
anybody who has ate them will tell you that there's not a better breakfast sandwich around that area, at least. You know, but yeah, I just had to kept pivoting. You know, pivoting is a very important recipe in business. Like you can't just do the same thing; it's not gonna work. Like if I just did the same thing, I'd still be sitting on the hoodies that I had back in December, January. You feel me? Like I had to do other stuff, because the food brings people to buy the clothes.
Diversification.
The food brings people to buy the clothes. The clothes brings people to buy the food. They learn about the nonprofit and stuff that we do. That brings people philanthropists in. That brings other, like, it's just so many different people that I've come across, like, from people who are, literally buying properties in that area that want me to occupy a building. This is talking about 5, 10 years down the line. Like, that's the type of relationship and stuff that I built now.
It's tough.
So when's your next breakfast and boards?
Breakfast and boards is over for the season.
It was yesterday, right? The last one
yeah,
yesterday,
it was last weekend, I think. But right now I have a thing. I'm catering different apartments and high rises. Right now we're at 414 Light Street, which is the premier apartment and living space in Baltimore. We're there like pretty much on a monthly, maybe bi-monthly basis. I'm trying to move into a brick and mortar spot right now so that I can move my whole business into a space and be able to make the most of it from everywhere, from the athletes to the kids, to the food, to the clothes. Like, a Koi store is going to be your one-stop shop for family fun, for, all your needs to be met.
Beautiful. Plug me with your website one more time.
Yeah, akoistory.org, AKOI story.org.
Instagram too?
Instagram is alboogie at ALBOOGEY.
It's a music alias.
Music alias
on
is Koi.
how to find them on Apple Music as well, Koi?
Yeah, Koi, I'm good. On everything, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon, any music streaming, music purchasing website, we on.
What's next for I'm good? What can we look forward to? What can we look 2023?
2023, the plan, like I said, is the building, the space. We're going to continue our food and stuff. Food is going to trickle over, but once next spring comes back, like Rashfield Park is going to be, that's going to be it, of course. It's going to be I'm Good Central, along with wherever else that we're at. Like I said, we've only been in for a year, which is crazy. Like, we're so young, but like the sky is the limit. Like, we have so much planned. Our athletes too. We about to go into basketball season. I have 3 Division I basketball players who are on our team. I already mentioned our football player, who already has a Division I offer, who's bounced back. We're going to move into extreme sports as far as skateboarding, things like that. But everything is just coming full circle. The food, right now we focus on the food, though. We're trying to get that recipe down packed. We're trying to scale that, not scale it high, but we're trying to scale it wide, our base. We're trying to make sure that all our recipes are down packed, that all of our service needs are met packed, how we, our rapport with customers, Chick-fil-A is, I was just at Chick-fil-A yesterday just looking at them like, most people go to Chick-fil-A to eat. I went to Chick-fil-A to see what they got going on. I'm like, yo, how do y'all, I'm in a line of people, I'm in a line of 50 cars. If you're in a line of 50 cars in a drive-thru, you're like, yo, I'm never getting out of this drive-thru. I was out in 15 minutes. Yeah, like 5 minutes, they taking my order. 10 minutes later, I got my food. I'm on my way out. Like, like the service, everything, they scale service. So,
same with Starbucks. It's the same type of.
Yeah, Starbucks too. So, that's what we're trying to do right now with the food. Get it so that whenever we do move into the space, it's like we already know what we're about to do. Like, we just, hit the ground running.
It's incredible. And I want to talk about a whole different business, right? Proven Gifted Intellects.
Yes, sir.
LLC, nonprofit, official 501c3. That is a nonprofit that we founded in 2017. You,
really,
me,
16 when we had
Malcolm,
the conversation.
The 3 of us founded that business years ago, and it's for the provision of educational resources and opportunities for youth in Baltimore City. Let's talk about that, and I'd love to talk about it too, but let's just get into some of these things that we've done. Our first nonprofit event was at Northwood Elementary. That was in 2017. We did a back-to-school cookout. We did hamburgers, hot dogs, book back to school supplies. it's a joint activity, but how is that kind of tied into I'm Good? Because you've done a really good job of making sure that I'm Good is supporting that nonprofit as I'm Good grows. And you're doing an after school program right now, which also helps the nonprofit and kind of ties the two together.
Right.
So let's talk more about that.
Yeah, IGI is my pride and joy. I'm not gonna lie. I like IGI. I feel more deeply for IGI than I do a Koi Story, just because it was the first thing that we started. That's what I tell people all the time. My first business venture was a nonprofit. Yeah. Like, and just go figure. Like, it don't even make sense. Like, you're a businessman. Your first business venture was a nonprofit. Like, that just goes to show you, you know, the base that we built. Like you said, back in 2017, that was just when we did our first event. The first time that we started talking about IGI was 2016. We was just in the car, like, everybody just like I forgot who said it first. I was like, y'all thinking about nonprofit? Like, I've been thinking about nonprofit. I've been thinking about a nonprofit. Like, we should do that. Like, hey, let's do it. And literally, we did it, like, you know, within 6 months. You know, then it was 2017 or whatever. But
we went down to the State Center, all signed the paper, turned it in. It felt like it was like something way above our heads at the time. Now you go down to the State Center and make a LLC for $192 and it doesn't mean anything. It's easy. Yeah. But back then it was literally like the most, like, it was an epiphany for us to even go through that experience. I remember it like it was yesterday.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, IGI, I was doing it in college too, playing football. That was the craziest part, and it was like so much effort that I put in, like getting events done and getting things, you know, structured and making it all make sense. Like, you know, it's really like I said, it's my pride and joy. But you know, after doing all those programs, now we're at the point where we are in a school. We're doing a cooking club at Beachfield Elementary. That's been awesome for the kids, for me.
How many weeks have you been doing that so far? He's the only one doing the after-school program at Beachfield. And lately, he's been doing a lot of the work with Beachfield and really pushing it forward. He's really taking it. And look, I love IGI as well, but I have to say, Allan, for the past year and a half, 2 years, has been really the driving force of IGI. Especially as I lived in California for a full year. Our other member, Malcolm, was going to school, getting his CFA and finishing up school. We literally have to say thank you to Allan for keeping this thing going, even when sometimes we weren't all there, you know. And listen, before we even get into that school program too deeply, let's run through all the events we did. Help me remember. We did the first event at Northwood. That was a back-to-school cookout, free hamburgers, hot dogs, and giveaway of school supplies inside the book bags for free. Northwood Elementary in Northeast Baltimore.
Then we did the haircuts for the homeless. Lunches at lunches, haircuts, and free coats for people at St. Vincent de Paul Park, next to the main post office at downtown Baltimore. Then we did Mary E. Robin, Wildwood and Mary E. Robin.
I was out of town for that one.
Yeah, Wildwood, another back to school cookout. Mary E. Robin was a back to school event, and then we did the STEM night there as well, which, you know, Michael really, because he's our STEM guy, he took the reins of that.
That was fun. We did a light sensing card. Yeah. So like a circuit board, you get your breadboard and made a circuit that could make a car push a right wheel if it needed to turn left to a light that's at its left sensor, and vice versa if it needs to go right. And we it was really cool using photo resistors and everything. And I kept the breadboard bare so that the kids could like literally see like this is a damn robot. Like, so it was really cool for the kids to actually understand like, oh wow, this is how.
And with that, like, people don't understand like how important nonprofits are, especially like community based. Like, for example, like you have like nonprofits that are structured around justice reform and things like that, which is important to, you know, kids and adults, and just even what you guys are doing as far as like going back to school, giving kids supplies, even just giving haircuts to the homeless and stuff like that. Like, that's really good for community, just because it kind of gives some kind of structure in a way where you're not, where people aren't actually paying for it. They're paying for it by giving you their time, but in the same sense, like, time is always valuable. The best way.
We can always remember, DJ, remember that time we were at Cardinal Sheehan? I know DJ since I was 3. Right?
Yeah, we go way back.
Yeah. Remember that time Good Samaritan came to our school and taught us about how to wash your hands with like germs. They put like Johnson baby oil on our hands,
I remember
put
that.
sprinkles, and said, yeah, try to wipe this off with a paper towel. None of the sprinkles came off, but they're stuck to the Johnson baby oil on our hands. So he said the only way to get this off is to wash your hands with soap. Because soap breaks down oil, which allows dirt to flow away. And that was something they taught us when we were in first grade.
And that's something that
Why you need to use soap? Still in my head. So like that's non-profit work.
Yeah.
That's the benefit of it. I think some people may not have had those non-profit programs in their childhood, and maybe that's why they don't see the value that it adds. But if you've never had it, I can see why you wouldn't see the value. But for those of us who have had that person come and do something for us as kids, it's like imagine no one goes to that school and helps those kids the way you were helped.
Because in my opinion, like you don't really remember the stuff that you necessarily paid for. And 9 times out of 10, you'll probably remember the guy that actually pulled you to the side and actually had a conversation with you versus you going and actually pay for something. I mean, I'm good in IGI, in my opinion. They do a really good job, or you guys do a really good job of actually displaying, like, because, you know, kids, they may not have a really good structured household, and you go to a school, and there may be a kid who's been having a tough week, and then you just teaching them how to cook some food, they just give him, like, a little bit of life.
For sure, it definitely does.
And he'll probably remember that for the rest of his life, versus the stuff that's going on at home. So,
Yeah.
All right, let's get through a couple more things. So we did the back to school. Back to school giveaway, haircuts for the homeless. The tech event at Mary E. Rodman. We did the Wildwood event before that.
Then it was for early back to school drive in the middle of the pandemic.
Right.
What was that?
We've done 3v3 basketball tournaments as well.
Yeah, our annual 3-on-3 tournaments. We did one in 2021. We did one this year at Beachfield. We're gonna do another one next year.
Right.
And then that was our last back to school drive. Would be Beachfield back to back.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So we did like 10, almost 10 plus events. We definitely see the veterans in this game.
That's really cool. And then now let's get into the after school cooking program. What is that really consisting of? How's that been going?
Yeah, so it's been awesome. It's just so cool to like DJ was just saying, like it literally brightens their day. Like they be bringing me pictures and stuff that they drew, like their dad. Like, and I'm only there once a week, once a week for an hour, not even an hour, because they take them time to get from class and get fed and stuff. But like they all just everybody's Mr. Koi or Chef Koi or whatever. Hey Koi, whatever. And it's just
Chef Koi.
Yeah, Chef Koi, Mr. Koi, and just Koi,
Chef Koi.
And it's crazy. They look forward to it every week.
Koi, no cap.
Yeah, they look forward to it every week. Makes them feel good. We're actually learning about different techniques and stuff. Like, I'm always gonna go outside the box. So I kind of make the recipes my own, in a way, and I pick the healthy recipes. We're not just making cupcakes and cookies. Like that would defeat the whole purpose of what we actually do at IGI. So we just focus on the healthy recipes. Like we did kale chips. We do a lot of smoothies, parfaits, a lot of fruit-based stuff. We teach them how to cut fruits. And yes, it's just great. It's like an awesome time. Every Thursday, I look forward to it.
It's tough. It's cool. You have this affinity for helping children. We all kind of tie into that. A lot of us here work with kids. You work with kids. I work with kids. You work with kids. You work with kids. You work with kids. All of us work with children. You have two of your own. Yeah, and I must say they are two very perfect male human beings. Like if you could make a very ideal human being, it's kind of like his son. So kind of tell us about that, man. They're some of the most adorable, intelligent children.
Yeah.
How's that going? What is that like?
Yeah,
being a father.
Being a father is awesome. It's nothing like it. Like having a little you. Like, and I got 2 boys, so it's like I literally have 2 little Allans. Like that I'm molding and growing into the best individuals I want them to be. Like like it's great because I have so many different things that I do that I don't have to really try to get them interested. Like let's say you just work. Let's say I just was a football player. Like, I would want my kids to play football. And I would try to kind of push them towards that and stuff like that. But, I also skateboard, I also, play basketball, play lacrosse, do a lot of different other things. I'm an artist as well, businessman. So it's a whole bunch of different things that they can get into from just observing me, you know, and they already started to. Like, my oldest, he already knows how to, like, he already knows that I make beats. Like, you know, like, he'll see me sitting down with the speaker in front of me and come up and start trying to press the space bar, like to press play. Like, he knows that the space bar plays and pauses the beat. So, like, he be sitting there, like,
How old are they?
like, you know, he filed his head and stuff. My oldest is 1 in 9 months. He's going to be 2 in February. My youngest is going to be 7 months in, like, a few days ago.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Damn, man. Some people don't even know how old their kids are. You know how to them. Good job.
Yeah, no, I'm like, it's funny. I was at the doctor the other day. With my youngest, and like this lady gave me a compliment, and it felt like kind of weird because, like, you know, getting compliments can be weird sometimes, especially in the doctor's office. But she was just like, oh my gosh, like, she said to my child's mother, she was like, you know, like, like, he has such a passion for taking care of his son. Like, I know it's just easier on you or something like that. I forgot exactly what she said, but she just like noticed that, like, I have such a passion for, like, taking care of my kids, and I was just like, wow.
I know what she's saying, but most of our fathers are that way.
For sure, yeah. That's why I came from.
Like that, you know, it's like that's probably pretty correlated with why we are doing pretty well right now, while we're well-rounded, while we're healthy, while we're going to good schools. It probably is a big correlating factor. Is the fact that we all had dads who, like Koi, were very involved in passion to take care of their sons. We're blessed for that.
Sure. That's you know, the motivation for doing what we do, because it's all for the kids who don't have that. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood full of kids who don't have that, who still don't have that. You know, like, I'm a big brother to like 50 people. Like, and that's might be an understatement. Like, it might be more. You know, like, literally, I see somebody walking down the street and they're gonna run up to me and say what's up and say that they proud of me, or that, you know, they appreciate me for whatever they did. Like, you know, like, that's that, and that makes me want to keep going and keep instilling these seeds. Like, even I'm coaching now at our old high school. I'm coaching at St. Paul. So now there's a whole another new aspect of people who, you know, are looking up to me and say thank you to me for things that I did to them. Like, after one season, I had like 5 people come up to me and say, like, a sincere, like, thank you. Like, you really, like, changed me and helped me grow.
What were some of the things they said? Why do they feel so
It was the discipline. Like, you know, Juan was talking about the discipline. Like, that's the first thing that you gotta build in any athlete is discipline. So every day we would do 4 sets of hills. In football, it's 4 quarters. So, you know, practice starts with hills. We run the hills first. Then we're gonna go do whatever we do tired. Then we're gonna go back and run hills again. Then we're gonna go back and do whatever we're doing tired. You know, like, keep doing that all day. And our team turned around. We were 2-1 at the end of the season. Like, we lost pretty much. We won and lost like every game. But at the end of the season, once that discipline started building, because I started late. Like, I started when the season, you know, started. I was being nice. You know, then I was like, all right, it's time to actually kick it up. You know
what it takes at a high level.
Exactly.
So you're kind of saying, look, you guys want to play around here, or you want to?
Exactly. Like, you're not gonna be around me and you know, accept mediocrity, and that kind of helped me too in life. Like, you know, being a coach has helped. Yeah, you know that DJ knows that very well. Like, it helps you become a better, well-rounded individual, because if you're not taking stuff from little kids while you going through your daily day, or, you know, younger individuals, while you're going through your daily day, you're gonna do that to yourself naturally. Like, I wouldn't let one of my players do that, so why would I do that? You know,
of course. Man, it's a lot. We can keep going on forever, but we're gonna start trying to wrap. It's literally you have the life of like a 50-year-old man who's traveled all over the world already. Like, you have so many things here. Guys, this was literally the most powerful interview I could have ever hoped for. I don't even want to end it. Let's see. Man, this is powerful.
I pulled up late, huh?
A little bit.
Glad you came. You got a lot of similar experiences that he has playing football too, so it would have been great.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit.
Yeah.
So it would be a good way to end it.
Let me see. I really don't even want to, guys. But we have to in the interest of time. In the interest of time, we definitely have to. We're going to take a 5 to 10 minute break, and then we're going to get into what we typically get into, a little bit of gaming. Y'all can see us behind the scenes. Corey did promise me a breakfast sandwich today, so we'll see if actually, But nah, guys, we're gonna take a little break, 5 to 10 minutes. This was literally the best interview. I'm not even putting a full stop on it. We'll be back live in about 10 minutes, like I'm saying. Give us a little bit of a break. Before we take that break, though, I do want to commemorate Allan Koikoi for coming on pod with us. Being our interview guest. And also, I want to plug y'all one more time. Lenderblock Corporation. What are we about? Lenderblock Corporation is a software development firm. We focus on providing equitable credit services, FICO-FREE. We do this through two main apps, the Blender platform and the partner platform. The Blender platform allows members to create credit lines. Borrowers can choose their own interest rate, minimum monthly payment. Lenders can view the different credit lines, see which ones have the highest interest rates and the highest minimum monthly payments. Again, those will be the most lucrative and most profitable. They also look at the borrower's credibility statistics to see which borrowers actually make their payments back, the rate at which they make their payments back, and then the lending and borrowing between the two members begins. We do a pool funding system where many lenders can fund a single credit line, and that's how our credit lines have been existing to this point. Allan has his own credit line if you wish to support him. For example, the username is ALBS, and from now on, if you want to support anything for I'm Good, a Koikoi story, anything that Allan is doing and you want to support him, you can go ahead and lend to his credit line, and that helps him to increase his liquid capital and grow his business. The second app is the partner platform. It allows you to participate in interest-free rotational groups. There's savings groups. For example, if the 5 of us here are in a group and I have the first turn, I created a partnership. Let's say we all contribute $100 every month, and I get the first turn. I'll have $400 to withdraw my first turn because the 4 of them will contribute $100. The next turn, next month, I'll contribute $100, but it's not my turn. And then let's say it's Juwan's turn, he'll have a turn to withdraw $400. By the time 5 months go around, we all will have contributed and withdrawn $500, and we all will have had a turn to withdraw, obviously. This can go around as many different periods or cycles as we want, and that's the partner platform. It's a cultural practice called Susu, or partner in Caribbean, West African nations. You also have names in Latin America like Tanda, Untas, Cuchubales, and Banderos, and even in East Asia it's practiced by a name called Huli. So this is a global phenomenon. We also have apparel, like I said. You can buy both of our apparel. You don't have to choose. Go buy an I'm Good hat, go buy an I'm Good hoodie, and then go buy a Blender hoodie as well. Go buy both of them.
Yeah, right? I definitely got Lenderblock. I got some shorts. I got a tee.
Yeah, he does. And we're gonna give you a hat too.
Thank you.
Put this one underneath that. Put the I'm Good on top. Right. And we also have this podcast. Tune into this podcast 12:30 p.m. Eastern time every single Saturday right here at www.twitch.tv/LenderBlockCorp. We have live interviews most weekends, and if we don't have live interviews, then we'll do a news session going through important news that's happened over the past week or two. And always catch us for our gaming as well. We want to have fun, so tune in. 10-minute break. We're going to be right back with you guys. Once again, thank you, Koi, for coming on. I'm Good. Follow him on IG. Al Boogie at Al Boogie, ALBOOGEY. Koi on all platforms for music. His website, koistory.org. And thank you, bro.